So teaching and leadership are similar but different in the sense that there's
Mm.
guys that I've trained with over the years that are great instructors, but by no means would you want them to run the academy. And what I've noticed after training, like all over the country now, is there's gyms that have leadership that's passed on from the top down, and it affects everything. And shout out to my buddy James Gabbert. Like when that guy was around, if you were like a minute late to class, even if I drove an hour from the city, if I pulled up and I saw class started, I went home. Like it was like, you don't show up late. So there's this like discipline. Whereas I feel like now there's some of these gyms where the discipline and the structure of martial arts isn't really there, but it's because the instructors aren't really giving leadership. And I feel like, especially with the kids programs, I hear a lot of the time keeping the lights on in these programs. What are some things that you've learned over the years to be such a respected leader, to be able to pass that on? Because if you're the only one teaching every class, it's hard to make your business grow. So you have to train leaders as well, not just black belts.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I think, part of the issue is, people need wisdom. And, you acquire that over time. This is not something you're born with. You could be extremely smart. You could be extremely good at jiu-jitsu and just somehow, lack wisdom. And sometimes it's hard to get people to listen to you when you don't have the authority in the room. Sometimes people take it to extreme where, people ask you medical advice. And if you're not a doctor, you shouldn't be giving medical advice. They think you're an expert in everything. And that's a little flawed as well. But, yeah, it's very important for me. I kind of view Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I never refer to my school as a gym. I always refer to it as a school, academy, dojo, institution of higher learning, however you want. But I think, for me, my job is to teach people Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but also help guide them. And I think one of the things that has become very important for me is to bring up guys that love Jiu-Jitsu as much as I do, want to make it a career out of it. And you really need to teach them not just the skills on the mats, but also off the mats, the business skill. And sort of apprenticeship has become a lost art in the United States, in Japan as well. But in Japan, it's actually coming back. I think they have some major problems with their population declining and so forth. And sort of as they evolved as an economy, that kind of went by the wayside, but it's coming back. And I think martial arts are a beautiful vehicle that you could use as an apprenticeship, which requires years to get good at both the actual art itself, as well as the other aspects of actually making this a living for you. And I think if you don't lead people, trying to give them a path and also try to be a good example. No, sometimes people kind of overdo it where, do this, everything, do it exactly as I say and not as I do. But you could provide a path for a lot of people.